Actor Johnny Depp, who was hoping a British court would help restore his image and kickstart his career, instead was dealt a major blow by a judge, dismissing his claims against a British tabloid. Depp sued The Sun for libel after a 2018 article called him a wife-beater, but Justice Andrew Nicol of the High Court of England sided with the newspaper, saying what they published was, quote, substantially true. The ruling comes after weeks of salacious testimony and video and audio evidence presented to the court during a trial in London.
Oh, you're crazy. Are you crazy?
Have you drunk this whole thing this morning?
Oh, you got this going?
Just started it.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Really?
Front and center at trial was Depp's ex-wife, Amber Heard. Called as a witness by The Sun, she testified about 14 separate incidents of physical and emotional abuse beginning in early 2013 and ending in May of 2016, just before the couple agreed to separate. She secretly recorded Depp during what she characterized as drunken, drug-induced rages.
No, I didn't. What are you talking about? And I watched you lie, and then
I didn't punch you, by the way. I'm sorry that I didn't
punch
you.
It has been incredibly painful to relive the breakup of my relationship, to have my motives, my truth questioned, and the most traumatic and intimate details of my life with Johnny shared in court and broadcast to the entire world.
Not sure I deserve that. Depp claims his career has been damaged by allegations of abuse, citing his removal from the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise in 2018. Around the same time, Amber Heard wrote about being the victim of abuse in an op-ed published in the Washington Post. The article didn't actually name Depp, but that isn't stopping him from suing her for $50 million in the state of Virginia.
And that's what the case is about. He's suing her for defamation. She is cross-claiming against him for defamation for accusing her of being a liar. Unbelievable case. Let's bring back in our think tank. Jennifer Brandt, Darnell Crossland, Al Wunsch III, all with us. All right, Darnell, let me ask you. This is a defamation case that he brought against her, suing her for $50 million. But in the op-ed that is the focus of all of this, she doesn't actually name Johnny Depp. Do you think the jury's going to use that as a potential defense for all of this, or are they just going to focus on whether or not Johnny Depp is or is not a wife beater?
Well, absolutely. The defense to defamation claims are truth. And so he lost his case in the UK, his libel case. So perhaps there was some truth to the fact that he was being called a wife beater. And in terms of where he's going to go now and how the jury's going to look at this, I think the jury is going to take into consideration the court of public opinion, if you would. It looks like what we're seeing so far, he's been a drunk. It looks like the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. In fact, that's his behavior. I think the jury will consider the fact that that he may be a wife beater, and it's not looking too good.
You know, Al, the movie War of the Roses was two people breaking up and they just went after each other. These two had an ugly breakup already, and then they had to relive it over in the UK, and it looks like this is going to be another sequel to what has happened twice already.
Well, Johnny Depp's been in a lot of sequels, so he certainly knows that part of the business. But in this case, it's going to be very difficult to demonstrate the actual malice that he is claiming has destroyed his career. And it was a great movie that came out in 1981 called Absence of Malice, which deals with the standard that has to be achieved in order for him to succeed in this action.
Wait, you're not seeing malice in this? I mean, if in fact she is lying, and I'm not saying she's lying, but if she was lying, you don't think she was motivated by trying to get Johnny Depp, get back at him?
Well, I don't necessarily see that. I see that in this instance, that she is, she's been wrong, okay? She's sympathetic. She comes across well. I mean, Johnny Depp's reputation is not the best in the world, as Darnell had said. He has got the rep of being someone that's difficult to deal with, temperamental. He certainly spends a lot of money on wine. there's no offense and there's no problem with that, in my opinion. But other than the other things, he shouldn't be throwing wine bottles at people. But nonetheless, this guy has issues and he's got problems. But it's a very high standard. And she didn't put his name in. So, I mean, they can draw the conclusions that they want. The jury is, maybe able to construe according to its wits, but the court must construe according to the law. And that's what we have to remember, as Thomas More once said.
Thomas More. Jennifer Brandt, family law attorney. Okay. At one point, this was a family law case. It's now cross claims for defamation. Have you ever seen anything from a relationship devolve the way this did, or is this kind of standard stuff and it's just the fact that they are both superstar celebrity actors and that's what's elevating everything here?
It's certainly standard stuff that people are angry at each other and throwing barbs at each other, for sure. This has an added element of, possible sexual abuse, which is certainly serious and nothing to be made light of. But the accusations going back and forth and the spitefulness and the hatred between the two of them, that's pretty typical in cases where people are going through a divorce or have been married before and really grow to hate each other. We'll see here, if the truth comes out, the truth is a defense here. But he's lost parts because of that op-ed, and that's what he's saying. So we'll see what the truth really is, and if we can get to that. It's certainly going to be a nasty case.
It really is
unbelievable.
They're gonna expose, and they've done it already a couple of times. But again, expose everything that happened in this relationship, and the jury's got to figure out what happened, and then is one party defaming the other, either accusing them of being a wife beater or accusing them of being a liar and motivated by the fact that they want to destroy one another. That part I don't think is going to be the hardest part to prove. But
like
you got to get to the
public
truth.
image, it's really going to damage both of their images.
It already has.
To hear all of this,
already has,
and to see these things for sure.
Completely destroyed already.
Yeah. When we come back, time to hear from you, our 13th juror.